You can probably tell from my ski coat, I'm somewhere else. I've been at the Tony Robbins Platinum Group in the last 5 days. One of the most exciting things I speak at, where I learn a lot, and the audience is just great. They're creative, successful, fun entrepreneurs, not corporate bureaucrats. So again, let me just give you, a few things covered this week, just a few insights from 5 days. So I can only say so much. But one of the most interesting things is Tony did a bubble game. He basically held up $100 and said, okay, we're going to play this game and it's going to be for real. And the rules of the game are whoever is the top bidder gets this $100, but whoever is the second highest bid has to pay their bid, no matter what it is. And again, it was real. Well, you can guess how fast and how high the bidding goes as people realize, wait a minute, if you just keep bidding high, you're going to scare everybody out. And you just create this bubble. And guess where the bubble for $100 topped? $100,000. Now, that is almost exactly what one of the greatest bubbles in history did, tulip bubble in the 1600s. Tulips on futures markets, you could speculate, and there was this mania, and a $2 to $3 tulip bulb back there ended up peaking at $2,000 to $3,000. That's the same 1,000 point ratio as $100,000 to 100. This is what happens in bubbles and how crazy they are. And yes, in this case, the second highest bidder had to pay $50,000. So, the point is, everybody loses or all the other bidders lose. And of course, it went to Tony's charity. So, so that was very interesting. Of course, I liked Peter Diamandis, technology expert. He's just confirming all the things we say about exponential technology and, all the things in biotech and 3D organ printing and a lot of things we talk about. Of course, he gave many more detailed examples, and he's just saying, a lot of people think technology slowed down with the internet and stuff, but there's things that are still accelerating and going to happen in 3, 5, 10 years, autonomous cars, batteries coming down, all this. I mean, that was great. And I took a lot of notes on that. I can't go into too much here. But again, from my perspective, two things. Yes, technology is moving that fast, but I have an old saying that technologies change faster than cultures, and cultures change faster than genes. So people slow this down. So the techno people always see things happening sooner. People have to adopt these. The other thing is we have a very good cycle for this. Yes, we know there's always exponential innovation, but there's periods like now where they're in niche markets. Everything almost he's talking about is in niche, narrow markets, only for the rich or only in certain industrial sectors, but it will move mainstream at first. Our cycle, our 45-year technology says clearly the next cycle where a lot of these technologies together move exponentially mainstream will be from 2032 to 2055. That's when I see us living much longer. That's a big deal in my future forecast, and obviously a big deal for people like Peter Diamandis. I mean, he sees 100, 120 just like I do. He just knows a lot more about how it's going to happen. Ray Dalio, top hedge fund manager in the world and in the last decade or so. Of course, his main message of many, diversify, diversify, diversify. He says the ideal portfolio would have 15 largely non-correlating sectors. And you have to correlate by country, by sector of investment, real estate versus commodities versus stocks, et cetera. And then, of course, by selection within those. Well, 15 is hard. 5 was the minimum. Now, again, another but from my perspective. We always seem to add a new perspective to something. People come up to me in this comment, well, Harry, how do I diversify for this crash of a lifetime? I said, well, here's the problem. This is a great reset. Almost everything resets. All assets just about have bubbled. And the only assets that do well, as in the 1930s Great Reset, are the high-quality bonds and the best currencies. Most real estate, commodities, stocks, everything else go down and reset. So this is a time where there is limited opportunities for diversification. And so that, but I'm telling people, this is just for 3 years in this great crash. After that, you can re-diversify. And we tell people, Asia's the best emerging countries, and that's where the growth's going to be demographically. Metals are the best in the commodity sectors, which is going to have another big commodity boom, especially with emerging world countries. So, just another insight. But I think, overall, because I've been doing this for many, many years, a lot of people come to me and say, "Oh, Tony Robbins, oh yeah, oh he's the positive thinking guy, or he's into weight loss." I mean, this is so far from truth. It's just maybe he was 20 years ago when he was 20 years old or something. He always has a system for everything, and he's into the technology of human learning and performance. And so what he does when he looks at investment is he said, okay, you have to have different buckets. You have to have a security bucket. And that's been my major mistake. I've always grown so fast, had so much cash flow from my business that I didn't have a security bucket, and I put too much in speculative investments, and those can disappear overnight. And that has happened to me at times. And so security bucket, a growth bucket, and then your kind of dream or speculative bucket. And then again, everybody has to have a target. How much do you save a year to get to the point where you can live on your investments? Even if you keep working and keep innovating, it just gives you more freedom to do that. Everybody would like to do that. So he has everybody set, okay, what is the level of assets you would need? And he uses a 20 to 1 ratio for the portfolio you need to sustain a certain income, because returns are not as high as they used to be in a low inflation world. So what do you need to survive on where you are at now? How much assets? And then how much do you need to be comfortable above that? How much do you need to basically be independent financially? And not have to work at all, even though you may continue to. And finally, what do you have to have, for your dream life? To be totally free and do whatever you want, not just survive at a good level or grow at a good level. So these are all useful things. And he spends a lot of time forcing people to do this because people don't do this. So that's another thing that comes out of this. And the last interesting insight I've got, I've spoken at a few Bitcoin conferences lately, as a very big one recently. And, I'm very clear. And Peter Diamandis had the same analogy. This is like the internet in an early stage. And so don't think that what you see now is it. These things are going to improve incredibly, and you're going to see what these technologies can do. Right now, it's just speculation, and it is in a hype phase. But another speaker came on and really made the case for Bitcoin, and that there is a need down the road for a sovereign standard, like gold used to be, but something more digital and something that can operate on a much greater scale and be more global. And so in that, it's a different formula. I started to see there's really two paths here in the Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, blockchain arena. One is that one or a few currencies like Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum could end up being these standards that drive the whole industry and create a base for monetary systems that make it more accountable and less manipulatable. And of course, I'd love to see that. The other part, which I've been stressing at these conferences I've been speaking at, like the internet, blockchain does not have as much directly to do with the coins, which kind of raise money or can be standards and stuff. Blockchain has all types of applications to improve the internet and computing and life and stuff. And medical systems and distribution systems and logistics and investing, all types of things. A lot of companies will come out of this crash, survive, prove themselves, and then grow for decades. So there's really two dimensions to this, and I'm going to have to think more about this, but that was another big insight I got from this conference. So again, that's just a few things I can leave with you today. I'm sure many more things will come from what I've experienced here in the future, and we'll keep you updated on that. Thanks for listening.